Hi guys, I'm Richard John. Thank you very much for watching this video. It means a hell of a lot. Thank you so much. Now, in this video there's going to be nothing new. All it's going to be is my interpretations of how I do things. So when I go out and perform a double lift at a gig, I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to show you how I lose a card in the middle of the pack, how I control a card to the top of the deck, and the moves you can get away with. So you can get away with so much while performing, it's ridiculous. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Again, nothing new. These aren't the wrong ways of doing things, these aren't the right ways of doing things, this is just the way I do things, and hopefully by sharing this with you, you'll be able to take a few bits away and maybe just elevate your performances more than they already are, you know, just like add that little bit of elegance within your card magic, which I'm sure it already has already, but maybe you can take something from this and start using it. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so we're going to start with a double lift. Now most magicians' double lifts look a lot like this, which is good. It's tried, tested and proven to work. And you know what, 90% of the time I've seen magicians perform it, and also obviously laymen and spectators aren't going to know what's going on. Obviously they've never seen a double lift before, they don't know what one is, so you can quite happily get away with it. I mean, there's no problem with it whatsoever, but the way I like to do a double lift looks like this. And then if you lose, then the card into the middle of the pack, and then you keep the 3 on top. So again, if I put the 3 second card from down, it looks like I'm just taking that one card and placing it into the middle of the pack. It's all in at one fluid motion, and you'd be surprised you can get away with a hell of a lot of angle sensitive stuff while you're performing. No one picks up on it whatsoever, and it's not really angle sensitive, you just got to make sure no one's behind you. Obviously with a standard double lift, you haven't got to worry about angles whatsoever, but with this one you do have to worry about the flashing behind kind of thing. But you know what, I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. Even when people are standing next to me, they're not looking at it, they're looking at the top of the card, not the back of the card. So this is how we do it. So you pick up a double however you want to, but instead of just turning it over on top of the pack, you're going to pick up from the corners here and rotate it, and then grip between your thumb, your middle and your index finger to display the card in a kind of a claw type grip. Anyway, I'm not going to do a grabby claw thing. Anyway, then you're going to do a paintbrush change, but not quite. You're going to grab it by the corner closest to your little finger down here, so just here. So for the right-handed people, it would be your index corner. For me as a lefty, it will be the non-index corner. And you're going to do a paintbrush change as you rotate that card out and stick it onto the top of the pack. So there it is. We'll pick that back up again. You're going to paintbrush change and lay that card right down. So from the top, get your double, get your break under the 2 cards, however you want to do it. You can pinky break, you can do whatever you want to, but just get a break under 2 cards. You're going to bring your fingers over, rotate that card into a grip with your deck hand, so your thumb, your middle and your index finger. You're then going to grab the top corner closest to your little finger here with your thumb and your middle and your index finger. You're then going to perform a paintbrush change onto the top of the pack as you rotate the X card, not their card, out on to the top of the deck, and from there you can either take it, put it into the middle, or what I like to do, and you get away with it 9 times out of 10 usually, you can spread the cards out and let that slide down and put the rest of the cards then back on top, so it looks really fair. And then obviously the ace is back on top. If I put ace from second again, we'll just do it very quickly. From there, say 9 times out of 10. Let's try that again. There's the king. Replace the king into the middle of the pack, just like so. And then obviously the king is on top. And that's my way of doing a double lift. Okay, so my take on Erdonet's colour change. Now, a lot of people do something along them lines, or they do that, or you've seen it before a million times, and I'm sure you know how to do it as well. And it's a nice colour change, but I think it's overused a hell of a lot. But my take on it, I've got two ways of doing it. First of all, when I see people with their fingers closed and then do it, no. I can't stand it. When the fingers are closed, it just looks like crap. For me personally. Open your fingers. But do it with the heel of your hand. So from here, your fingers are open, and then, you know, change the card. Now, that's one way of doing it. My favourite way of doing a Erdnase style colour change. Now, I do not know the name of this colour change, and again, this isn't a purchased video, so I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. I like to take a double and wave over the top, just like so. And you're almost doing an Erdnase from the side of the pack. I'll show you in just a second. There we go. So you're taking a double and you're resting it on your fingers at the back, and what's happening is you're pulling the top card square or flush with the pack as best as you can, as your hand takes the card into palm here and rests that on top of the pack as it goes to change the card. So as you're here, your hand comes down, pulls that card out, squares everything, and places one card on top. Like so. I'm doing this quite rushed and quite exposed, just so you can get the idea. But I mean, that's the way I like to do a colour change. I don't particularly like that. If I was going to do an Erdnase, yeah, I would do fingers open. I'll say at this angle you can see all the cards, kind of thing. But I would do fingers open because it's just far cleaner. And if you have it on the palm of your hand as well, no one's going to notice it. No one's going to suspect a thing, and you can just bring it over the top there, which is really nice. So with an Erdnase change, keep your fingers closed, keep your fingers open, sorry, and use the heel of your hand to perform the change. Also, I see a lot of magicians and a lot of people slip up with the change when they don't keep their index finger in place here. This index finger is vitally important to push that one card back onto the top of the deck again. I see a lot of people when they're learning push it out and they leave their index finger under here, and then they've got to reach and stretch, or they push it too far and they can't quite stretch to pull that card back into position. So yeah, index finger vitally important, but my one tip would be don't close your fingers, keep them open, use the heel of your hand and the palm to take the card, just like so, into there and place on top. So at a good angle, there. And keep that reveal slow. Keep it slow, like that. Just looks like the card changes through the windows of your fingers. It really does, it's lovely. And also the second one again, the kind of side steal Erdnase, where if I do it from this angle here, you can see the card just pops into your hand, square everything up on the back and rest everything on the top. So again, from there, 6, like that. And it changed to an ace. And that's my take on a couple of, well, the Erdnase colour change, and that's the way I like to do it, so enjoy. Okay, so my take on retaining a break. Now, there's no harm, obviously, with pinky breaks. They're used all over the place, and they're used a lot, and you know what, we couldn't do magic without them, so I'm not replacing that pinky break at all. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to control a card or retain a position of a card without actually holding a break. So I'll show you what I mean. So you take a card, someone selects a card, a spectator selects a card, and it goes into the middle of the deck, just like so. And I'll leave it sticking out, jogged just slightly, and then what I'll do is I'll flick the pack of cards. And from there, I know exactly where that card is without any breaks whatsoever. I can see the position of that card, and you can control it to the top, however you want to. So again, from there, you place it just into the middle there, give it a flick into the center of the pack. From there, you can do a double undercut, and I know that that 9 is then on top. Now, how are we doing this? Now, a spectator selects a card, places it into the middle of the pack, you leave it out jogged slightly to the side, and when you flick your fingers, when you click the card, sorry, into the center of the pack, if I can show you, not from there, it's difficult to do it from an angle that you can see properly. Let's do it from here. When you click it in, let's do it properly, there we go. If you click it in, you can see that card shoots out of the back of the packet, just there. Now all it would take is your little finger just to square that up there, and you've got a shelf just there, which you can then come over, push down with your thumb and pick up the break. Then control however you want to that card to the top of the pack. So again, when you flick it into the pack with your fingers, just click it straight in, it creates a shelf at the back of that 7 of diamonds or their selected card, where you can come over, take that break with your thumb and control however you want to the top of the pack. And hopefully it's a 7 of diamonds. So the nice thing about it is once you've clicked that card into, or flicked that card into the center of the pack, like so, and got your break, got your card sticking out the back, you can then let go. You're absolutely golden, and it's not going to move anywhere. It's not going to go back into the center of the pack either, even with really new loose cards like this. I'm shaking it around and still it's at the back still. The break is still there, or the shelf even is still there. There's no break. So come over from there and do whatever you want to do. Do a, pass, however you want to control that card to the top. Bring it to the top. And that's how I control a card to the top of the deck. Okay, so turning over a card in the centre of the pack. Now, when I first started turning over cards in the centre of the pack, it was the opening to my ambitious card routine. I used to ask the spectator to say, stop. Okay, you've got the turn-outs, but I didn't know what this card was, obviously. I'd show it around all the spectators, say, remember that card. Then under the guise of misdirection, I would then turn that card over in the centre of the pack and then make up some excuse to say, well, your card's so ambitious. First of all, it wants to make themselves known in the pack, and you spread through and bang, 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 the 10 of hearts is upside down in the centre just there. Now, it's good. But you had to use some misdirection. Now, I'm a huge fan of misdirection. It's a hugely powerful tool that we magicians have to make our effects work. But what if you could do better? What if you could do it under just the guise of a spread? So, I recently learned that this is a Lepul move from one of his books. I don't know which book. I did get given the quote. I might see if I can put it underneath here, the link to the actual move to learn it. But this is the way I'd like to do it now. So going back to the move of controlling a card to the top of the pack with a click of the finger. So click goes in, bang, bang, bang. The card gets controlled to the top of the pack. So we're looking for the 10 of hearts there again. And what you're going to do is it's going to look like you just spread the cards, place them down, and now that 10 of hearts again is upside down in the middle of the pack. I love it, absolutely love it, especially if I'm doing table work. But you can do it in the hands as well, and it's awesome because it does just look like you're spreading the cards out and just showing them a bit. And then obviously you go through and that 10 is then upside down in the centre of the pack again. So how do we do such minor miracles? Well, first of all, you're going to have to learn how to do a one-handed top palm. So you've got to learn how to pop one card into your hand with one hand. I'm not going to teach you how to do that, but you should definitely go learn it. It's an awesome move that every magician should have because it's brilliant for doing cards to impossible locations, to pockets, to wallets, to wherever you want to put it really. So yes, do it, learn it, and love it. So once it's in top palm, once you've got the idea of getting it into a one-handed palm, you're then going to come across here with your thumb and spread the cards out as you push the now upside down card into the center of the pack, and it's as simple as that. It's a lovely way of doing it. And there's the 9 of diamonds. So again, I'll do it from up here so you can see. The card goes in, you spread, that card then goes into the pack as you close everything up. And again, there it is. So from just a performance speed, it should look just a little bit like that. And then the 9 of diamonds is now upside down in the centre of the pack. Somewhere, there it is. So that's the way I like to turn over a card, and it's got me some awesome reactions. First of all, when a card goes in face down, and after just a spread of the pack, it's then face up in the centre of the deck. So I really like it. I think it's just a nice, flashy, not flashy, but nice just way of setting a smooth way of doing it. So enjoy. Okay, so when we're retaining a card at the top, but you want it to look like it's mixed up, I hate long shuffles on how to do it. You know what? I hate them so much that I don't even do long cuts anymore while I'm performing. I don't like the whole, I can't even do them anymore now, like, well, that's nice, but I mean, for example, let's go with, something along them lines, you know, keeping a card on top of the pack. I can't stand it, I really don't. And you know what, that wasn't me a few years back, it really wasn't. I was like all about the fancy card moves and the fancy cuts, and the bigger the cut the better, or the longer the cut the better. But then I've realised that's just showing off. What I really like is just a simple, like that. And now, you know what, most magicians will follow where the top card is at all times because it never leaves this hand. But as a spectator, it just looks like you're cutting the pack, especially as you've got a scissor cut involved as well. It does look like you're just cutting the pack and maybe, you know, mixing some cards up, when in fact you're only mixing the bottom portion of the pack, and this one retains everything on top. Now, prerequisite, learn how to do a scissor cut. They're brilliant, and especially if you're at a poker table. Me and my friends do a poker night once a month, and sometimes they bring new people just to see their faces when I'm just at the table just doing a few cuts, and they get a bit scared, which is nice. But yes, we're going to learn this, and I haven't got a name for it. I'm going to call it the Swizzle Dizzle, Foshizzlemanizzle, something like that. I'll put it up on the screen. But it's a scissor cut with just a card swell. So you're going to pick up maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 cards in your non-dealing hand. At the or if you're right-handed, it's going to be at the index corners. If you're left-handed, it's going to be at the non-index corners, like me. From there, your index finger is going to spin the card as you perform a scissor cut, and then what's going to happen is it's going to get this pack here is going to get pinched between your middle finger and your index finger, and put everything back on top. So slowly, all together, you spin there. It's going to get pinched between your index finger and your middle finger, and you're just going to let everything fall on top. At speed, it just looks kind of cool, I suppose, but not really. But I just think it's a really just simple way of making the cards look like they're mixed up to a spectator when they're really not, and you're still maintaining the top card. And that's that. I call it the spinny for shizzle dizzle, my fizzle hizzle nizzle, something along those lines. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. Now, I know a lot of it might be like sucking eggs, or you might be like, why do I want to learn this? It's pretty pointless, it's pretty old hat, it's pretty old school, it's the first things we learn. But the first things we learn are the first things we learn for a reason, and if you can elaborate on them and make them better than they already are, your magic is going to enhance that little bit more. Again, these aren't the right ways, these aren't the wrong ways, these are just the way I do things, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, I hope you get something from it, and I'll see you very soon.
Hi guys, Richard John here from I'mRichardJohn.com, and this is the fan change. I hope you enjoy it. It's a lovely colour change I've been using for about a year and a half now, and it's kind of similar to Dan and Dave's goat change, where it uses a principle of using two cards, one a bit longer and one a bit shorter than the other. Now you don't need to cut a card or anything like that. You do all the setup while you're actually setting up for the colour change. So without further ado, I'll show you what I mean. Let's get into it and let's learn the fan change. Okay, so this is the handling on the fan change. You're going to start by taking any double that you want to. It really doesn't matter how you get a double, just get a double. What I like to do is just display the card just like so. Now pick the double up in middle grip, just like so. Riffle down the side of the pack. As you do, cradle that card and stab it in around about, I don't know, 10 or what have I got there, 6 cards from the bottom. 10 or under is pretty good. You don't want 1 or 2 cards from the bottom, but 10 to 6 is quite a good way of doing it. Straighten everything up, and now this is the secret part to the trick, or the first part of the trick, first part of the secret. Pull one card forward, just ever so slightly. So from the back, it's now created a small lip, just there. So the card you're going to change to is the smaller one, and the card you've got on top is the bigger one. So you're in that position there. Once you're there, fan the cards out. You're then going to bring that to the middle, or sort of ish to the middle, and you're going to just click your fingers onto the top corner here. This is I'm left-handed, so it will be where the index is. If you're right-handed, you'll be clicking where there's no index. When you click your fingers, that card shoots back into the pack under here, just like so. And that's the fan change. It's that simple. Then pull out, close everything up, and you're ready to go. One thing to note, when you do finish the change and close the whole deck up, you will get a card in quite an awkward position. I'll show you what I mean. When you flick the card into the deck, it's almost to the side here. It's not straight up, it's to the side. So when you bring that on top and close the fan up, you see it's going to be out jogged to the side. There's no easy way of cleaning that up. It is purely just to feel and run your hand up and down the pack. So if you've got a card like here we go, like this sticking out the side of the pack, which you will have once you close the fan up, just try and just square everything up. And that's really the only advice I can give on that. Everyone will have their own way of doing it. It's just get it back into the pack as best as you can. So we'll do it again. From there, you get ready, put across, and then do that, bring out, close up, and you'll notice when I close the deck, see I've got one card sticking out the side here, I just square everything up. It doesn't look tidy as hell, but once they see the change, and maybe then you hand the changed card out to the spectator, from there you'll have all the room in the world to square everything up, and you're done. So guys, that was the fan change. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find lots of applications for it. Even if you don't, it's just a fun thing to practice and quite a knuckle busting little thing to do. So yeah, get involved. Thank you very much indeed. I've been Richard John at imrichardjohn.com, and I'll see you next time. Now, Robin H was an idea to do with archery in a way, to have an arrow card, the white one, fire into a different kind of deck and be able to find the spectator's selected card. But the difference being is that then after you've done that and performed the arrow kind of into the deck, the spectator can then have a go themselves. So before we get into anything else, let's take a look at the performance, and then we'll get into the explanation of everything for you for Robin H. Right. Ooh. Come closer, come closer, come closer.
He doesn't bite.
Pull up a chair. Let's sit down.
Unless you pay him extra.
Let's get involved. Let's get involved. Right. I've had a favourite new sport recently. What's that one called?
Archery?
No, rugby. Rugby's my new favourite sport, but archery's my second favourite sport. We use archery, alright? Now, this card, this joker here, is going to represent an arrow, alright? Because I'm dangerous with the bow and arrow, so I've decided to use cards instead. Far less painful. What I want you to do for me is take any card out you like. It doesn't matter which one. Have a little look at it. Got it? Yeah, show the camera as well. I don't want to see it. Happy?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can just place it on top of the deck for me. Perfect stuff. And now we're going to lose that card somewhere near the middle of the pack, just like so. Happy? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to test my archery skills. Don't worry, you'll have a go in a minute, but we're going to test my archery skills out. So we're going to take the joker and hopefully, like so, the joker as an arrow gets shot into the middle of the pack. It's roughly around middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Happy?
Yeah.
I'm going to take that and spread it across the table, and hopefully, where's that joker gone? In the middle. There it is. There we go. So joker there, yeah? Mm-hmm. We're going to take the card out next to the joker. If you can have a little look at what that card is. Which card is it?
It's the card that I chose.
It's the card that you chose. Lovely stuff. Now, as I said, you're going to have a turn now. You're going to. Oh, you picked another joker. Lovely. That's not bad. Now you're going to have a turn. All right. So I'm just going to go through. Let's pick you a card out. Let's go with. Let's go 9 of hearts. I want you to try and take that card for me and stab it into the middle of the pack. So the other way up, so you can see the joker. Perfect. And if you can stab it, you're gone. Lovely stuff. Happy? Do you want to change your mind at all?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. About halfway down. If we spread the cards out, we can see where that joker's gone. Mm-hmm. And what did we say? The 9 of hearts, didn't we? And that's old Robin H. Boom.
Robin H.
Okay, Robin H, you're going to take an arrow card. I'm going to use a different card than every other card in the pack. I'm going to use a white card here as my arrow. I'm going to test my archery skills. Pick a card, any one you like, it doesn't matter. Take a little look. We've got the 5 of diamonds. We'll place it on top of the pack and cut it straight to the middle. We're going to take the arrow card and test my archery skills out. We're going to place that arrow card somewhere in the middle of the pack, just like so. It doesn't matter where it goes. Hopefully my archery skills are so good, I'll be able to find your selected 5 of diamonds. Let's have a little look. We've spread through the pack like so. And hopefully you see the white card next to one card just here. Let's
have a look. Should be then the 5 of diamonds. Now the spectator, you, sir, madam, son, daughter, whoever you're performing to, is going to take the arrow card. And we're going to choose a card for you to find this time. So it's your turn to test your archery skills. Let's have a little go. What card should we make you pick? Or let you pick? Let's go with the... Let's go through a little bit. Let's go with the King of Hearts. So, spectator, can you please stab your arrow into the pack wherever you like? We're going to find the King of Hearts. Somewhere around there. Perfect. You can see it goes somewhere in the middle. If we then spread through, like so, you can see where that white card has ended up, next to one card, which should be the King of Hearts. And that is Robin H. Hi guys, Richard John here again. This is the at the table explanation for Robin H. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the at the table explanation for Robin H. We're going to start off by showing the setup. The setup, you're going to get 1 duplicate card and 2 duplicate cards out of 2 duplicate decks, or if you go for the white artisans, they've got 2 duplicate jokers which are identical to each other. Just make sure you get 2 identical cards. One's going to sit face up on the bottom, one's going to sit face up on the top. You can then pop that in your deck of cards, and when you're ready to perform, just go and perform it. So you take it out, you pop the arrow card, so to speak, down onto the table, and get a spectator to pick a card. So let's go with the 9 of diamonds. Lovely, we use the 9 of diamonds, perfect. You can get them to sign it, take it, look at it, show it around their friends, take a picture of it. It really doesn't matter what you do with it, as long as it goes back on top of the pack. You're then going to swing cut the pack in half, putting their card into the center of the deck. What that does is, you'll see when you spread through the cards, is put it next to that upside down joker, so the joker is always going to be above their selection. Okay, so if we look at that, that is the 9 of diamonds. So let's start that again. We'll have the joker face up on the bottom of the pack. We spread through, spectator picks any card they like. What have they got? 9 of hearts this time. Goes on top of the deck. Cut everything to the middle. No breaks, no nothing. You can then just, you're completely free to do what you like. It's pretty much self-working from here on in, apart from one small piece of sleight of hand. Now, you're going to take this arrow card and test your archery skills, and you're going to just, I don't know, just stab it into the middle of the pack. It doesn't matter where it goes. If you want a fancier card stab into the pack, look up Daniel Garcia's William Tell, and he's got one where it bounces off the table into the deck, but I can't do that, not on this surface anyway. So you can then hold up the card to the spectators and say, okay, it's somewhere near the middle of the pack, isn't it? So yes, it is. What you're going to look like you do is square up the pack and then spread the cards out. But what you're really doing is just leaving that joker a good, maybe, I don't know, inch, half inch out of the side of the deck here. But that's under the cover of your non-dealing hand in biddle grip as you spread the cards out across the table. So what's going to happen is that the spread is going to cover this out-jogged card, only revealing the other upside down joker in the deck. So when you spread through, you'll see in the middle here is one joker, and next to that joker, one card below it, should be the card we were searching for, the 9 of hearts, just there. Now, that's impressive, none the same, but what you can then do is say to the spectator, actually, I'll tell you what, do you fancy a go? Do you want to go at doing it? So you hand them the arrow card, the spectator gets the arrow. You're then going to pick them a card. Now, it's important what card you pick them, and it's the one next to the other joker in the pack. Now, when you spread through, you'll be able to go through and see slowly that the different card in the pack is going to be on top of one other card. So if you can see here, the gold joker here is below the 10 of clubs. Okay, so we're going to force them the 10 of clubs. So you're going to say, actually, you know what? Yeah, you pick me the 10 of clubs. So all they have to do now is take that card, again, stab it into the middle of the pack wherever they want to. You can spring the cards down onto the table. You can get them to hold the pack and just stab it in. It really doesn't matter, as long as it goes somewhere in the middle and they don't push it in fully. You have to have it sticking out a little bit to then perform the same move again, the Zen of Concealment Move. Around an inch or so out of the deck, look like you square the pack up, and then spread the cards again. And you'll be able to go through and see where that joker has landed and where they have put that card. You pull everything out, And again, that should be the 10 of clubs that you asked them to pick. And that is Robin H. Okay, this is the first of 2 bonus thoughts about this trick. A friend of mine and a great magician, Tom Brooks, does a parlour show, and he's incorporated this into his parlour show, but not as a trick, but as a force ready to go out of the box. So, for example, say you wanted to force the 2 of diamonds. You have that on top of your deck and your joker, just one, face up on the bottom, in your deck of cards, in your card box ready to go, and you've got an arrow card on top of the pack. So you could, in theory, come straight out on stage, ask someone to pick a card, but in a more visual way, so the audience can see what's happening as well, instead of forcing a card, classic force, blah 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 blah. This actually could be quite a nice way of visually doing it. So you already know what the top card is, the 2 of diamonds. So say you want to force that upon someone, so you casually cut the pack into the middle. And with that face-up joker, obviously that 2 is going to be now next to it. You get the spectator to come up on stage and visually force a card on them by just saying, you know, wherever you want to go, we'll use that card. Wherever you stop that joker, we shall use that card, and then spread out across the table. You can see where that joker's landed. Then we can pick up the card next to it here, so that's your marker card, and they've selected 2 of diamonds, and you can just go from there. I think that's quite a nice way of doing it, a card force using the Zen of Concealment Move. Brilliant idea. So this is the explanation for Robin H. Now, we need an arrow card, which I've now got a white card here, as opposed to the rest of my red deck. And we need a secret card as well, a duplicate, another white card. That's the secret to the whole trick. So my setup is, I've got my arrow card on top of the pack, and my secret card that's hiding on the bottom of the pack. Now, the arrow card is going to get placed onto a table, or what I like to do is just, if I'm doing my hands, just pinch it between my 2 fingers. I'll get a spectator to select any card, it doesn't matter which one. There's no force going on in any of the moves in this. It's pretty much sleight free, which is awesome. Now, when they pick a card, they can sign it, they can do what they like with it. It's just, you don't want to see it as a magician either. Just get them to place it on top of the pack, and then cut the pack in half. What that'll do is place the other secret arrow card on top of their card in the pack. From here, you don't need a break at all. You're completely clean, and you're free to go. From here, you can then take the card and stab it into the pack where you like. Now, if it's not windy outside, you can get the spectator to maybe spring the cards down into your hand and you can throw the card in. Or if you're doing it on a table, you can then spring the cards onto a table and get the arrow placed into the deck. So wherever it goes in, it doesn't matter. What you're going to do from here is perform what's called the Zen of Concealment Move. Now, usually it's done on a table underneath a spread of cards. For me, I've kind of adapted it to work in the hands, and it does work in the hands. It takes a bit of practice, but it does. When the card goes in, you're going to leave it a good sort of 1.5 centimeters sticking out of the deck. And all your fingers, your index, your middle, your ring, and your little finger are going to sort of touch that card so it doesn't really move anywhere, okay? What that allows you to do is then spread the cards without that card underneath here moving at all. It's not going to go anywhere. As you spread through, what you're going to look for is the other white joker or your other arrow card, which on first round it didn't show up, but we can have another look. There we go. So you can notice I've still got my other joker under here, and the joker that was on the bottom, the arrow card that was on next to their selected card, is just there. Now square everything up, and I've just lost a card. It doesn't matter. We're in a windy outside location, it doesn't matter. And we'll lose their selected card back into the pack. We've now got another arrow card, and you're going to let the spectator have a turn this time, but what you're going to do is look through the cards and pick them a card. Now when you look through the cards here, you'll be able to see an upside down, your joker card here, your other card, see the white card here, and you're going to get them to choose, or tell them to pick, the card next to that joker. So you've got the joker and the one down from that, so we're going to look at the 9 of clubs. So everything goes in. Again, you don't need a break, you're completely clean here. You then get them to stab that arrow card into the middle of the pack. It doesn't matter where it goes. Again, show them that they put it near the middle. And again, you're going to do the Zen of Concealment Move. Make sure that card's 1.5 centimeters or 1.5 centimeters outside the pack. All your 4 fingers spread across the back of it just so it doesn't move anywhere. And you're going to spread the cards through. And what you're looking for, again, is that other upside down joker in the pack. And hopefully, again, that joker is next to the 9 of clubs. Now let's do that again very quickly. So we've got the arrow card that the spectator's holding. You're going to go through and pick a card for a spectator next to that joker that you put into the deck. So here, there's the joker. There's the 10 of spades that I want them to pick. We go through. The spectator can stab that card into the pack wherever they like. You're going to then perform the Zen of Concealment Move and spread through the cards like so, very gently, but making sure you've got pressure on that other joker at the back just so it doesn't move into view. And then this joker just here should be where the 10 of spades is, should be there. And that is Robin H. It's a nice little card stab effect that you can easily do. It involves pretty much 0 sleight. All it takes is the Zen of Concealment Move, using it twice, and that's it. So enjoy. That was Robin H.
So this is the second bonus idea on Robin H. Instead of using jokers and or exactly the same cards, because you have to open 2 decks of cards or you have to find 2, use your business cards. It was a great idea by a friend of mine, Dwayne Williams. He showed me the video via YouTube and I said that was awesome, great idea. Also a great way to then hand out your business cards at the end because they're already in play, they're already incorporated into a trick. So instead of the 2 jokers, maybe use 2 business cards. Okay, it's a little bit different on the handling because they're smaller than a playing card, but if you can do it, I mean, it's a great idea. So that's the second bonus thoughts on Robin H. Guys, well, that was Robin H. Thank you very much for purchasing this download. I really hope you do use it. I think it's a strong piece of magic which you can get a spectator involved in with, and I think that's probably the best kind of magic you can do, get a spectator working with you. So I've been Richard John, this has been richardjohn.com, and that has been Robin H.